enthusiast character, Donna, that was originally written as a guy. But I figured, looking back in cinema, we've seen that type of caricature from Cheech and Chong and Jason Mewes or whatever a lot. So I was like, well, I've known plenty of ladies that like to partake, so that would be interesting to see that kind of trope in that character.
Well, speaking of smoking, I think it's almost time for us to do a little bit of that ourselves. But before I pick a strain for you and for the rest of our experience, I have a few questions I'd like to ask you. Let me look at my cards here. All right, Dylan. Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees. Which one would you choose to defend you against the other two?
It's a good question. It's kind of like, are you a Beatles man or an Elvis man, you know? So it's like, what kind of slasher franchise do you gravitate towards? For me personally, I think probably there's better films in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, but Friday the 13th is the franchise I love overall, even though any single film may not be the best of quality, but I have so much fun with them, and I like the characters in them and the setup. So,
I'm a Jason man myself, so I see where you're coming from.
So coming as a Jason man, and being that he's like an unstoppable force, I think he would be a good defender against the other two. Except Freddy can get you in your dreams and stuff, but as long as you don't sleep, and then technically didn't he win in the Freddy versus Jason battle, or he cut off his head? It was kind of a draw.
It's kind of a draw at the end there.
Right.
So who would you most like to see killed?
Is there any franchise I wish would end, I guess?
Sure.
Wow, that's a tough question. I guess Halloween, at least for the next one, they're not calling it the third Halloween 2, right? So there was Halloween Machete Kills or Halloween Kills, right? Right? That franchise is a little annoying because it's been rebooted so many times. It's like you got so many, you got the Thorn Cult, you got the Rob Zombie thing, you know, so that one's the biggest mess as far as continuity goes, so. I guess that's my least favorite, but but then again, Halloween's probably my favorite slasher movie, so
There you go.
There you go.
Speaking of death, what would be the worst way for you to go?
Anything that probably takes a while to die and you know it's going to happen, so like drowning probably, or burning, or...
What about being buried in an anthill up to your neck?
Yeah, that would suck.
Doused in honey. What's your craziest personal cannabis story?
I mean, I recall one time hanging out with this guy, and it was in college, and before we knew it, I think we smoked like a pound. It obviously wasn't that high-grade stuff, so we were basically, not not functional for the rest of the day. So.
Wow. Now, for the man who has smoked a pound of cannabis, I think we need to go with a really heavy indica. Because you're experienced. Mm-hmm. You know what the effects are. So let's get you something nice and heavy. Now, when I like to imbibe, I have a little helper who gives me a hand. Let me introduce you to Miss Thing. Miss Thing, you awake?
Whoa.
How's it going, Miss Thing? Right on, I'm here with Dylan. I think we would like to smoke some really heavy indica. Do we have any of that Diablo strain left? Fantastic. So we've got some Diablo from Medicine of the Angels in Los Angeles. And in terms of a method of smoking, I figured we would go with the bong.
I kind of want to go with this right here.
Yeah,
go with the roof
think you can handle that?
Yeah.
Let's start a little bit smaller with the glass bong.
Incremental? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's my... Hey, Miss Thing, do you have a lighter? I can't find mine. Oh, thanks, beautiful. You're awesome. Give me a hand slap. Backwards. Fist bump. All right. Take care, lovely. See you around.
Since cannabis still has a rough stigma in society,
but glorifying alcohol is totally cool,
I'm here to distract you while Josh and Dylan, go green.
How you feeling, Dylan?
Smoky.
That was a nice, smooth smoking experience.
I liked it. I dug it. Yeah.
So let me tell you what's gonna happen next. One of my favorite things to do after I get lit is to watch a horror movie.
Of course.
So I've picked something out for us, but almost as important, when you get in this state of mind, what do you really want?
Munchies?
Some munchies, yeah.
Nice.
So we got you hooked up. Let's see what the homicidal homemaker has cooked up.
So Josh, I am whipping up my s'mores edible entrails, and these are the perfect munchie meal. It takes 3 ready-made ingredients, combines them together, and you have a morbid appetizer or dessert, however you wish to enjoy this, and it is super easy and inexpensive to make. You're gonna start off by rolling out your crescent rolls and topping them with a little bit of Nutella. Then you're gonna take miniature marshmallows and place them right down the center. Then all you have to do is pinch the seams together. Then arrange them on the baking sheet to resemble entrails. After you've arranged them on the baking sheet, take 1 egg mixed with a little bit of water and red food coloring and brush over the tops of the entrails. Now just bake it for 15 to 20 minutes in an oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Hey guys.
Hey.
How you doing? You guys hungry?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I'm sure you've got the munchies about right now, and I've made the perfect thing. I've made my edible entrails, but inspired by 420 Massacre, I did a s'mores version.
Wow.
Because any movie that has camping, I mean, s'mores are the perfect campfire treat. So, are you guys ready to dig in?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. That looks awesome.
So, this recipe, it is filled with Nutella and marshmallows. So it's gooey, it's very sweet, and it's the perfect munchie.
You ready?
Okay.
Let's do this,
Here we
Dylan.
go. I'm gonna break off some of the innards here. All right.
I'm certain I would be salivating if I didn't have such dry mouth. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's legit.
The sugar rush is like totally counteracting the indica.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm like being pulled in 2 directions simultaneously. So Dylan, this is the snack that's gonna accompany us through the film that I've picked for us. 2013's Evil Dead, directed by Fede Alvarez. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
We're gonna get you, not another piece. Time to go to sleep.
What do you think about the fact that they did a gender swap with the main character? A lot of people were afraid that that was just a gimmick.
You know, I honestly haven't seen this since it was in theaters. So the Ash character is a female in this?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
the
like
main
the-
character is Mia, the drug addict.
Okay.
The drug addiction works as a plot motivator. When you get to a spooky cabin, you know, people in horror movies tend to just ignore, you know, all the red flags, right? The whole idea that they're there to detox Mia and that they're staying there no matter what because it's tough love really like adds legitimacy to why they would stay. And the fact that she's withdrawing makes her seeing these red flags suspect. You know, how can you believe anything from someone who's going through withdrawals?
Right. It's a good excuse to get them all out into an isolated place, and it makes sense
Exactly.
why it's so isolated.
Right, and
yeah.
when she's begging to leave, and they're all, no, we can't leave. You know, you know, in a lot of horror movies, you'd be like, you're stupid to stay, but in this one, you have to stay. You've gone so far.
What do you think about the Book of the Dead redesign in this?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
How do you feel of them going more serious tone for the Evil Dead?
It worked.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there are 2 things you should do in a remake. You should honor the original and make it new.
And do your own thing, right? What subgenre of horror would you call it? I mean, it's kind of slasher, but I think it's almost a subcategory of beyond slasher.
It
It's
is,
like a
well-
subcategory of slasher.
It's a cabin in the woods. I
Right.
mean, the original Evil Dead is held up as the paradigm of the cabin in the woods subgenre, but there are also elements of body horror in this.
Right.
You know, body horror being a film that shows mutilation. The scene right here is definitely an excellent example of body horror.
Oh,
The syringe.
syringe to the eyeball.
Oh, no! Stop
she's
it!
just like doing it like, oh.
Stop it!
Eye horror is definitely.
That's it. You know,
yeah,
it's
it's
eyes, teeth, and fingernails. Watch this. Watch this. This is where he pulls the needle out of his eye. And I would just love to know how they do this.
Oh, it's so long. Oh, that's pretty gnarly.
And she's not dead yet. How did being elevated add to the experience?
Oh, definitely during certain scenes, it definitely gets you zoned in and all that craziness. So.
Right. Hey, thanks for being here, my friend. I wanted to give you some gifts from some of our Dread films. We got Terrifier for you, Assassinat, and Director's Cut. So enjoy those.
No, and Dread Central Presents is doing good stuff, man. So
thank you.
I'm looking forward to this.
Great to hear. And let us know if imbibing, if being lit enhances the experience.
That's a great title, man.
Isn't it?
I haven't seen this, so I look forward. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks,
well, I
man.
hope you enjoy it. Thanks again for being here.
Thanks, Josh.
All right. Keep it lit.
I hope you got your bloody fill of your leafy greens. Tune in next time for more chronic horror. And as always, remember to partake in recreational cannabis-related activities responsibly. Greetings! Josh's guests today are Richard and Anastasia Elfman. Take it away, Josh!
Welcome, folks. You've arrived at the intersection of horror movie fandom and cannabis culture. But don't worry, you don't have to smoke or vape to be a chronic horror fan. Just sit back and relax with whatever makes you happy.
Experience the chronic. Prepare to get lit.
Horror is more than just a genre of cinema. It's a lifestyle that includes art, music, dance, and fashion. And our guests today, Richard and Anastasia Elfman, excel in all of these arenas. So join me in welcoming them to Chronic Horror. What's up? Richard and Anastasia Elfman. Welcome to Chronic Horror. Richard Elfman, you are the founder of the Mystic Knights of the Oingo Boingo, writer-director of the cult horror classic The Forbidden Zone, and you recently wrapped production on I Always Get the Order
Hipsters, Gangsters, Aliens, and Geeks.
Hipsters, Gangsters, Aliens, and Geeks. Anastasia Elfman, you are a burlesque dancer. You're a scream queen. You recently appeared in Karma is a Bitch, which screened at Etheria Film Nights. And I'm just delighted to have you both on the show. Welcome.
Glad to be here, Josh.
Fantastic. So Richard, tell us a little bit about the film you just wrapped up.
Well, it's a very poignant story of an out-of-work actor that wakes up with the key to the universe stuck up his ass and gets thrust into a great intergalactic war between the clowns and the aliens.
Yeah, that happened to me once.
With music driven by Danny Elfman with help with Ego Plum.
Excellent. And Anastasia, you're in the movie?
I am.
She did like 5 parts, everything from a carny slut to a nun.
Nice.
So there's a little bit of range.
Yeah, you're showing the whole spectrum there.
Oh, and choreographed.
Fantastic.
Dance numbers in the cabaret.
I can't wait to check it out. So listen, I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions now, kind of get to know your personalities, after which I'm gonna prescribe a strain of cannabis, a method of smoking, and we're gonna take in a little film, all right? Sound good to you?
Sounds good.
All right. So sadly, the world is coming to an end, but you two have been selected to throw the final circus of the world. What acts do you pull in to perform?
Actually, just a typical thing we do once a month. We have a thing called the Barbecue Bacchanals. It's kind of an underground cabaret. I cook, we drink, she performs. We have a band, Mambo Diabolico, that performs, and we bring in different artists. So we would just do another one of our dinner parties.
Anastasia, I have it on good authority that you're a big Twin Peaks fan. Which character do you identify with the most?
Oh my gosh. Probably, I guess, leaning towards like Laura Palmer.
And that's because...
Just the fun life that she led right before, you know, her untimely death.
Tragic figure. She was a wild one, though.
She leans to Log Lady sometimes, though.
Oh, so yeah, sometimes. I have, you know, good authority.
If you were trying to sell yourselves on Craigslist, what would the ad read?
Well, for me, a cross between Brad Pitt and Bozo the Clown.
All right. And how much would you try to sell yourself for?
Got as much as I could, at least $10.
There you go.
Yeah, at least.
Anastasia, same question.
Probably bizarre, gorgeous screamer $2.
Oh my God, you guys are selling yourselves so short. Fantastic. So there are two primary kinds of cannabis. You got the sativa and you got the indica, and then you have hybrids. Well, this is the first time we've had two guests on the show. We've got Anastasia and we've got Richard, so we thought it would be appropriate to have a hybrid, a little of both, best of both worlds. So when I'm looking to imbibe, I have a little friend who helps me out. I like to call on Miss Thang. Miss Thang, you awake? Say hello to our guests, Richard and Anastasia Elfman. So Miss Thang, I was thinking some of that Wi-Fi cake that smelled so delicious. Do you have any of that?
I'm scared.
Yes, indeed. We got the Wi-Fi cake from Medicine of the Angels in Los Angeles. Miss Thang, bring out our nicest glass pipe for Richard and Anastasia.
Hey, over here. I'm supposed to distract you while Josh and the Elfmans do the thing that we can't legally show you them doing. Not that thing, sicko. The other thing.
So guys, how do you feel?
Relaxed.
Yeah?
Relaxed.
When you sit down to watch a movie lit, there's really one more thing that's essential. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Talking about munchies.
Oh.
So not only do we curate excellent movies to watch on Chronic Horror, we also tailor a culinary experience to the show and for our guests. So let's see what Casey, the homicidal homemaker, has cooked up for us, yeah?
Sure.
Yes.
I'm hungry.
Hi Josh, I am whipping up some Bloody Brain beet hummus for you. I know that's a mouthful to say, but it's a delicious mouthful. This recipe is super inexpensive and super easy to make, and it's perfect for vegans and those on a gluten-free diet. For this recipe, you'll need garbanzo beans, cooked sliced beets, lime juice, olive oil, tahini, chopped garlic, salt, pepper, and water. So start off by combining the garbanzo beans and beets in a blender. Then add in the lime juice, olive oil, tahini, garlic, salt, and pepper. And then you'll need to add in 1 to 3 tablespoons of water just to get it to blend smoothly. And see, I was not kidding when I said this was quick and easy. You just need to whirl everything in a blender, pour it into a serving dish, and you're good to go. One of my favorite ways to serve this is in a dish that either looks like a skull or a zombie head. Just add the hummus to a piping bag and pipe it into a brain shape.
Let's welcome Casey, the homicidal homemaker. Casey!
Hi guys!
That's a new one.
You guys hungry?
Yeah!
Oh yeah.
Well, this time I made something a little on the healthier side. I know that usually I make things full of sugar and butter and all kinds of delicious goodness that's not very good for you. So this time I did a Bloody Brain beet hummus. And I did this because sometimes it's nice just to have a healthier option when you have the munchies. Sometimes you just don't want super sweet or super cheesy things.
Why don't you let the guests help themselves first?
So I have some rainbow carrots because I think those are so fun.
That does look pretty disgusting brainy. I mean, it's almost like, I'm like, what is that grossness? I mean, I love hummus, but it really looks disgusting.
Well, I love that. I take that as a compliment.
Oh, I
by
meant
the
it as
way,
a compliment.
because I'm probably the only person that wants their food to look as disgusting as possible. And this is perfect for Halloween parties because you don't have to put a lot of effort forward. You just have to take a piping bag and pipe it in the shape of a brain.
That was really good, Casey. Oh, yeah. That dope made me hungry.
Hey, that's why they call them the munchies. And we're gonna keep this as we go into a film.
Oh.
And I'll leave that with you guys. And
Come to daddy.
So the movie I've picked for you guys is Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell. There are some really interesting theories about what the film is actually about. So I'm excited to give it a watch with you guys. You know, now that we're lit, maybe we'll notice some things about it that we didn't notice the first time around. And let's just jump into it. You guys ready?
Ready.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. One of the things I really like about this film is its opening scene. It's brutal. Spoiler alert, they kill a kid. That takes balls. You know, how many horror movies actually show a kid getting killed? And this kid is about to not just be killed, but, you know, it might tie into the title of the movie is all I'm saying, so I'm giving it a watch here. This is what I'm talking about. A kid
That was subtle.
just got thrown off a 2-story landing onto a stone floor. I mean, that's not a happy thing to have seen. And then, as if that wasn't fucked up enough.
No.
No. They dragged him to hell.
That's what I'm saying. All that before the credits. So it's just such a brutal way to begin a movie. So do you recognize the car?
What is that?
That's the Evil Dead car. That car is in every Sam Raimi movie. Even Spider-Man.
I didn't realize that.
He did this movie that takes place in the Old West, The Quick and the Dead. And there's a rumor that he built one of the stagecoaches around the car, just so he could say that the Evil Dead car is in the movie.
Please listen to me. There's nothing coming from you.
How do I get rid of this?
Seances, yay or nay?
Okay, tell them what you feel about ghosts, and I'll tell them what I feel about ghosts.
What do you, I'm scared of ghosts. Yeah, I believe in them, and leave them alone.
I have my own way of exercising places for friends.
Oh yeah? How do you do it?
Yeah, I blow a bunch of cigar smoke and then stamp my feet going, get the fuck out of here!
And it works.
Yeah, it works.
Fantastic.
Totally
I'll let you know if I ever need your services.
Yeah, you stomp and smoke and get the fuck out of here.
You ain't afraid of no ghost.
I'm not.
So Richard, if Anastasia was being dragged to hell, would you jump in with her?
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's right. Oh.
So before I let you go, and to thank you guys for being here, I've got a selection of our Dread Presents DVDs to leave you guys with.
Well, hey, which we'll watch tonight.
Excellent. With or without getting high?
I'm feeling pretty good right now, Captain.
That's right. It'll keep going all the time. So enjoy these. I've got a few more you can choose from. And it's just been fantastic having you guys on the show. I can't thank you enough.
What fun, man.
So much fun. How wild.
Fantastic.
We do hope you got your dose of zombies and ghosts. Tune in next time for more chronic horror. Good night. Bye-bye.
Dang, sock monkey me. I just had this bogus nightmare. I dreamt that Freddy Krueger smoked all my cannabis. Let's go get some fresh air.
Welcome to Chronic Horror, bitch.
prepare to get lit.
I busted out of my scare lair today for a little chronic field trip to Soda, a practical effects studio where nightmares are made. I'm joined today with chronic horror family member and filmmaker Richard Trejo.
What's up?
What's up, Home Slice?
What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm good. Glad you could make it.
Dude, thank you for having me down, dude.
Hell yeah. So I'm really excited to check out the gore in store. But I think there's something we should do before we go in there, something that'll help us really get in the mood.
So just to warn you, I know what chronic horror is all about.
You've heard?
My doctor told me that I have a condition where if I get high, I start talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's just a warning.
I've heard about that condition. It can be serious, but you know, we'll risk it for this one episode. Yeah. So when you're on a chronic field trip, best way to go is go back to the basics and just roll a joint.
It's my preferred method. It's
Excellent.
how I started, and it's how I'll finish.
Excellent. So as you know, you've seen chronic horror, so we got my magic stash box here.
And this thing, right?
We're gonna be smoking some blue cookies from Medicine of the Angels.
I've never had blue cookies. That's perfect.
It's a really fun hybrid of Girl Scout cookies and Blue Dream. Excellent sativa dominant strain. And
I like that word, sativa.
Yeah, kind of flows off the tongue.
It's nice.
Well, let's get rolling, shall we? There are two reasons why you might get a run in a joint. The first is that you don't grind your cannabis.
Okay.
And the second is shitty rolling paper.
Shitty rolling paper, I can't deal with that.
That's why we're using Elements.
This is great. Who knew I'd come here and I would learn so much?
Really?
You're like Mr. Rogers, but for cannabis.
Hey man, it's all about education here.
This is great, dude. I love being in your neighborhood.
Anytime, my friend. We're getting those pine undertones.
Oh, yeah. Smells great.
If you're new to cannabis and you're looking for something that's light and pleasurable, you really can't go wrong with Blue Dream or just about anything with blue in the name.
I like the way you talk about cannabis.
Well, I like the way you like cannabis.
We're gonna get along just fine, Josh.
What I like to do first is I just kind of like to crumple up the paper. That kind of makes it more malleable. You don't have to worry about the fold in it. Make sure you got the sticky end pointing up. I like to just drop all of my cannabis right in the center. You kind of give plenty of space at the ends, and then when you roll it, it'll kind of fill itself out. Also, making sure you get a nice clean fold will ensure that you don't get a run. Pinch both ends, and then I give it a little flick to kind of like evenly pack and distribute it all. Check this out.
Nice, there it is.
It all gets nice and evenly packed all the way through. Twist off the other end. It's not the size of the entire paper, but you know what? It's gonna smoke nice.
It's not
gonna
about
burn
the
evenly.
size.
When it comes to joints, it really isn't. It's about the cannabis and it's about the company.
That's right, dude. And we already know we got good company, dude.
Hell yeah. You ready to get lit? Let's spark that.
Let's do it, dude. Let's do it.
Right on.
Sir?
Nice.
Dude, this is
Leatherface.
Good to fucking meet you.
Falletta.
How are you?
Co-owner of Soda.
Welcome to our humble abode.
I mean,
welcome to our
this is
nightmares,
fantastic. You got Leatherface over here.
I stepped on a dog.
Oh, I know, dude. This
you
is
got
unsettling.
Twisty over there. Matt, just tell us a little bit about how you got started in this industry.
It's actually very simple. I had cousins who were assholes. They were older than me, and I was very young, and they would torture me with their Halloween masks. Like I was like 7, and I was a kid, and they would scare the hell out of me with masks and all this stuff. So I kind of took control of it through acting, magic, stunt work, everything. Now, we just finished 2 films, and I haven't come in here to clean up. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm not embarrassed because, hey, work is happening. So, yay, we're working.
You know, I know you've got some things you can't talk about yet, but tell us about the things you have done.
Well,
I'm a big fan of Lunch Ladies.
Well, thank you.
You know, for those of you who don't know anything about Lunch Ladies, tell us a little bit more about it.
Lunch Ladies is about 2 down-and-out lunch ladies who accidentally might or might not dispatch a student, and they figure out a way to cover up their actions.
And where can people see it?
They can see it on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, look it up. It's free. Can you explain what chronic horror is?
Look, I'll be the first one to admit, there's not a direct link between horror movies and cannabis. But having gone to so many conventions and meeting so many people who love horror movies and work in horror movies, there's a huge crossover.
The cannabis opens your mind to the horror and lets you experience things fully. Like, we've been talking this whole time, we didn't notice this big old box of blood.
That's pretty crazy.
You gotta have blood.
So is it true that it like tastes sweet or something?
Mine does.
Mind if
I would not.
No,
come on, let him do it. Do it. Oh no, don't.
It'll make your mouth red.
Look at what he's doing. Look at that.
Your mouth is completely fucking
You look
red.
awesome.
You just drank pure fucking food coloring.
It's awesome. I've never played with fake blood before.
There you go. I'm so proud of you. Look at you. You're beautiful.
I'll do one with you. Look, I didn't spill.
You should have swished it around on your teeth.
Chronic horror.
There you go.
Yeah.
Chronic horror, bro.
Fantastic.
I'll tell you what.
That's
This is
disgusting.
not sweet. It's disgusting.
It does cure
But
the
does
dry
it look
mouth,
cool?
I give you your dueling weapons.
I'm unarmed.
Come here, dude.
Slap
Oh my
fight.
God, dude. He's harassing me. He's harassing me.
I dub thee Chronic Richard Trejo.
Yeah, Conan the Barbarian. What?
I'll take the short one and my dreads will be hanging out. That'll be so stupid. Yeah, so we got our souvenirs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. Who am I? Leatherface, you fucked up my Sonny Bono wig.
Look at that.
Oh, wait.
Chronic horror, chronic horror. Chronic horror, chronic horror, chronic horror.
Oh, chronic horror. Come on, it can be chronic horror.
Chronic horror.
Chronic horror.
And that's pretty good.
Thank you. Enjoy.
This is pretty gnarly.
It's pretty gross.
Whoa! You on YouTube are just seeing pixels right now, but it is incredibly accurate in terms of
feel and weight.
I like how you fashioned the penis.
You know, I don't know if it's the cannabis, but the longer I look at it, the more it seems to be looking back at me.
It's Johnson.
Wang.
Oh yeah, Wang.
One-eyed trousers.
Dork. I like that one.
Fireman.
Dangle.
Phallus.
Reese's fecal butter cup? No. Okay.
Nope.
Just spitballing here.
No, that was good though.
Chronic horror.
Chronic horror.
You know what that's called?
What?
A decapitation. And these are all fake horror movie kill weapons.
Yeah.
Here.
So
That's for playing Jack Torrance.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Get him. Oh, get it. Dude, look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. Oh.
that's terrible cut.
I'll tell you what, it's nice down here. Do you ever lay down here, like, on your days off? I think there was something in that food coloring.
I think so too. Reacted with the cannabis. You didn't tell us that was the LSD-infused fake blood. So the ongoing debate among horror fans has always been for decades, practical effects versus digital effects.
Sure.
Well, obviously this is a practical effects studio, but
Yes.
where do you stand in general?
I love both of them.
Well, I think for so long, the digital was so obviously digital. But I think we've gotten to a point where the technology actually is good enough where used sparingly and used as a marriage with practical effects, it's seamless. These days, I have to ask filmmakers, was that practical or digital?
Right.
Because honestly, it looks so extreme, but I can't see how they did it.
But it takes 200 people to make this stuff where it takes like 4 of us, to make it in rubber and clay and, fake blood. I love like special makeup effects because it encompasses everything. I have to learn dentistry, I have to learn plastics, molding, sculpting, everything that's artistry and science at the same time.
So do you have any advice for chronic horror fans who might be up and coming in practical effects, who might be in their garages doing this as a hobby and
Do it
trying
in
to
your
make a
garage.
career?
Learn by doing.
Inspiration.
It's great that you can go to a school, you can learn it, but you have to apply it to a job.
I had a 9-to-5 job. I had the desk job, I had the cubicle, I had everything. I had insurance. I had that. And then I was like, you know what? This doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like the way to go. And then I found filmmaking. I started writing for a website, and then I started a podcast from that. I started doing sound for movies, and
you do what you love.
Yeah.
So if you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life.
You know, I mean, and you know what the thing is, you have to work hard, but you love it, so it doesn't feel like work.
It's all I really know how to do.
I guess what we're trying to say is if you work hard enough, then one day you can do Arnold Schwarzenegger voices on camera.
Hey, maybe you can even get your own show about horror movies and cannabis.
More importantly, about chronic horror.
Oh man, living the dream. So we've definitely learned that going on chronic field trips leads to some incredibly bizarre hijinks. But Matt, thank you so much for inviting us to Soda. It's been amazing. Shake my hand, brah.
I'm glad you saw Dicks and Vaginas.
Thank you. I will take a hug. Come here.
Well, now I feel bad. Give me a hug, too.
It's all hug. Come here.
It's all hug. I love you guys.
We shared a lot today, guys.
I love you guys.
Dogs, separate.
Hello? Josh? Guys, where the fuck is everybody? Oh, I forgot. I knew I was supposed to be somewhere.
So I busted out of my scare lair for something completely new. We're doing a live episode of Chronic Horror. We're here at Arena Sin Lounge in Hollywood, an amazing, swanky boutique theater that does amazing things for independent artists. We're gonna have a live audience, we're gonna show them our past episodes of Chronic Horror, then we're gonna let them participate. Let's blaze!
All right. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Experience the chronic.
What's up, Arena Sing Lounge? I just really want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for coming out to celebrate Chronic Horror with me.
Come on, Josh. What's going next?
Smoke and get the fuck out of here.
Does it start with M and end in A's?
I'm talking about munchies.
Munchies.
Oh, yeah. Teeth and fingernails. Watch this. Watch this. Oh! Horror, Chronic Horror, for your brainstem. Come on. Stay lit, everybody. What's happening now is we're actually recording a live episode of Chronic Horror. You're all our studio audience. Live from Hollywood. Welcome to Chronic Horror Live. So this is more than just our first ever live episode. This is a reunion show. So glad you could make it, Home Slice.
It was a Nouvelle experience. So much fun. His show is fun.
Yeah, tell everyone a little bit more about the Homicidal Homemaker, when you started, and where people can check it out.
Well, it all started about 10 years ago, way back in the day of MySpace. Does anyone remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And it started off where I just wanted to be the person that brought the grossest looking recipe to the Halloween party.
It's too much fucking fun.
How can it be too much fun? Come on now. What did you first think when executive producer Patrick Ewald approached you about the possibility of directing a show about horror movies and cannabis?
I was like, yeah, right up my alley.
Richard, I was singing your praises before. You weren't just my partner for an episode of Chronic Horror.
Come here, dude. Oh my god, dude. He's harassing me. He's harassing me.
You are involved in all of Chronic Horror. You're the sound guy.
Hopefully still, I'm sorry.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for being a part of the show, and I'm really excited to move forward with both of you. Thanks a ton for being part of my Chronic family. You were cracking me up the entire time you were on my show. There were times when I forgot that I was the host because you were just yucking it up with the director and with Richard talking Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I mean, you really just
I had so much
much fun.
Talk a little bit about it. What was it like?
It was just like hanging out with my buddies. Everybody, the crew was so wonderful to work with.
We're going to talk a little bit about fake blood. Sure. Because, we'd heard that fake blood is sweet. It's made with corn syrup or something.
Mine does.
Mind if
I would not.
Come on, let him do it. Do it. Oh, no, don't.
It'll make your mouth red.
Look at what he's doing. Look at that.
Your mouth is completely fucking
You look
red.
awesome.
You just drank pure fucking food coloring.
Awesome. When I grabbed that bottle out of the crate, I thought I was getting the full mix. I thought that I was tasting fake blood. But I was actually drinking straight, industrial strength food.
Which will make you pee red.
That's what he told me. He said I'd be pooping red for a week. That would have been some chronic horror right there.
Yeah. So I made you a big old jug of pure, real Hollywood-style special Wreak of Effects edible blood.
You made this for me?
I made this specifically for you. It's even got the expiration date on it and everything. And, all right, you want to taste it? See?
Yeah, if you can unscrew the cap for me, I will. I'm actually happy to do the real deal.
No, absolutely. Just you can try some of that. You can see what you think. You can pour it on your pancakes after a good session.
All right.
So, cheers.
Here's to you, Matt.
Bottoms up. Oh my God, his kung fu is very strong.
Delicious. This is a good grade on my waffle.
Her day job was working practical effects at Soda Effects.
Today for a little chronic field trip to Soda, a practical effects studio where nightmares are made.
But I met her at Soda Effects. That's how we met.
That's crazy, a chronic horror connection. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now, before we go, I want to invite everyone back up. Casey, Camilla, Richard, Anastasia, Hank, Richard, Trejo. Let's get the whole chronic team back up here. So everyone, I just want to thank you so much for coming out. Thank you to all of my guests and participants, past, present, and future. Thanks to the entire team, and especially thanks to you. This has been Chronic Horror Live, the first ever, and we couldn't have done it without you. Peace! It was an amazing night. I want to thank everyone for coming out for the first ever Chronic Horror Live. There's a lot more to come. Be sure to watch us on YouTube. You can also watch us on the Dread app. Chronic Horror for your brainstem. Yeah, peace.
Well, that was pretty great. They really love me. It's too bad I wasn't invited. We know this episode was light on the chronic, so we thought we'd introduce you to Cannabis Corpse. for watching. Bye-bye. Surprise, motherfucker! Chronic Horror is back. Woo! Today's guest is Sadie Katz. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Josh Milliken.
We're back. It's another episode of Chronic Horror, right at the intersection of horror fandom and cannabis culture. We are about to blaze.
Experience the Chronic.
My guest tonight, no stranger to horror fans. She's been in Wrong Turn 6, Party Bus from Hell, the recent remake of Blood Feast. I'm talking about the incomparable Sadie Katz. Sadie, welcome to Chronic Horror.
Well, thank you.
It's a pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure being here.
So listen, we're gonna smoke some cannabis, we're gonna eat some delicious munchies, and we're gonna watch Terrifier, which is one of the most gruesome and controversial horror movies of the last few years. It's safe to say that the movie has split fans down the middle. It's definitely a treat. You're gonna see some things that are kind of unimaginable. Now, most horror fans probably know you from Wrong Turn 6. You played Sally Hilliker, a character who is very unique and very devious. You killed someone with...
My vagina. That's the first time I've done it on camera.
Okay. So you have a killer...
Vagina.
Very, very interesting. Now,
a snatchy vagina.
So listen, in Wrong Turn 6, you're one of the Hillikers, but you look amazing compared to some of the mutants, some of the inbred, some of the...
Well, you know why?
Tell me, because I was wondering, how did one member of the family come out looking smoking hot?
Well, actually, my other brother that I'm also having sex with, Wrong Turn 6 is basically going back in it's a prequel, to say. And so it's basically saying, how they got their start. So Sally is the sister of all of the inbreds. So they were basically fucking to keep it pure in the family. And so things don't work out, I guess, when you're a bunch of inbreds.
I guess not.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got the you got hit with the pretty stick.
Oh, well,
as
thank
opposed
you.
to the other members of your family.
I'll thank hair and makeup for that.
So one of the other things that the Wrong Turn movies are known for is cannibalism. It's a big theme throughout the entire franchise. Everyone says oh, I would never eat another human being, but we've all heard stories about, the plane crash in the Andes, people stuck in a lifeboat. Under what circumstances would you cannibalize a person? And don't say you wouldn't under any circumstances, because I don't believe you.
God, a bitch has got to eat. Honestly, okay, taking your question seriously, if it was the apocalypse, and I have a couple ex-boyfriends I would carve up very quickly.
Nice. Well, that kind of leads me into my second question for you.
Okay.
Say you're attending a cannibal buffet. You're invited to a dinner party, and the main course is human. And there are two humans who have been cooked for the event. One is a person who you love, and one is a person who you hate. Who do you eat, and why?
Oh, God, that's a good question.
Isn't it? Because they're already dead.
They're already dead.
Do you eat the person you love so that they'll be a part of you? Or do you eat the person you hate and relish the experience of devouring them?
I think I'd eat the person I love.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I actually love that question.
Aww.
I don't hate a lot of people because I'm a super, weirdly forgiving person.
All right, Sadie, it's time for the fun part. Chronic Horror is all about getting imbibed. So when I like to get elevated, I have a friend who I always turn to give me a hand. Do you know about Miss Thing? Miss Thing, are you awake? Hi, Miss Thing. Say hello to Sadie.
Oh, this is magic.
So awesome to have you here, lovely. So Sadie, I understand you're more or less experienced. This isn't your first time puffing on a little cannabis, so knowing that, I'm not gonna go easy on you.
Oh no.
I think, Miss Thing, Sadie and I are gonna smoke some Chem Dog. Do you have any of that in the dispensary? Yeah, check on that for us. Oh yeah. Got a gram of Chem Dog here from Medicine of the Angels. Indica dominant, guaranteed to rock our worlds. You had a funny saying about indica. Indica puts you in the couch. Okay. Now, in terms of how we're gonna smoke, I thought we'd go a little bit high tech. Okay. So, Miss Thing, do we have a couple of those dry herb pens?
Dry herb pens.
Oh, there we go. We're gonna be using dry herb pens from Evolved. So here you go, Sadie, one for you. And one for me. Thank you, Miss Thing. Give me some fingers. Slap, 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 slap. Give me a fist bump. All right, let's not waste any more time. We're gonna get blazed. Up a bit of an appetite. We're taking care of you, and we're also taking care of you with some incredible horror-themed munchies from the Homicidal Homemaker. Casey, what do you have for us?
Hi Josh, I'm whipping up the perfect treat for you and Sadie to enjoy as you watch Terrifier. I am making caramel peanut butter pretzel fingers. And these are so easy to put together because no cooking is actually involved. You just use ready-made ingredients, combine them, and you have a gruesome snack. So for this recipe, you'll need pretzel sticks, ready-made caramel candies, almonds, peanut butter chips, and blue, red, and white candy melts. Start by taking your caramel candies and spreading them out. Then wrap them around the pretzel sticks. You don't want to cover the entire pretzel because you want to leave a little bit of pretzel exposed for the bone. Use a little bit more caramel to build up the knuckles. It's helpful to wear gloves on this step because the caramel does tend to get a little bit sticky. After you have the caramel all over the pretzel, use a fondant tool, a toothpick, or a sharp knife, whatever you have on hand, to add lines to the knuckles and definition to where the fingernail will go. Next, melt together the peanut butter chips and a few blue candy melts. Mix until completely smooth. Then you're going to take each finger and dip it into the candy mixture. Before the candy coating has set up, add half of an almond for a fingernail. After the coating has set up, melt the white and red candy melts for the exposed bone and the blood on the end of each finger. After the candy coating has set up, all you need to do is chow down and enjoy. These are crunchy, chewy, and sweet, and they are the perfect munchie snack.
Casey, you never fail to impress me with your creativity, your delicious and disgusting munchies, except for that one time where you fed me Vegemite. But I forgive you. Come on up, show us what you got.
Hi Josh,
Hey,
hi Sadie.
Casey. So we're about to watch Terrifier, but before that, what do you have for us?
Well, I hope you've worked up an appetite. This recipe is inspired by the mutant man of my dreams, Three Finger.
Okay.
Oh I love it.
Awesome.
So these are peanut butter caramel pretzel fingers.
What?
So are you ready to dig in?
I am. Do we just grab them?
Of course, I guess you could say.
Ladies first.
Oh my God, they're like cute and horrific. I love them.
That's the best kind, right?
They're like a Snicker.
This is fantastic.
Oh my God.
Well, we're about to watch Terrifier, but I can't thank you enough for coming out, as always. I think you've really outdone yourself. These are amazing. It's time for us to get terrified.
Oh my God.
We're watching Terrifier. one of the most popular, controversial, and terrifying films of 2018, Terrifier, directed by Damien Leone. It is very graphic, very controversial, and like I said before, horror fans seem to be split down the middle in terms of how they feel about it. Let's do it.
Jesus Christ.
Like and you ain't seen nothing yet. So
why doesn't she have eyes?
Oh, that smile.
Oh, no.
He's not even doing anything. He's just smiling.
I think we should get our food to go. Why?
Something about him is just unbelievably wicked.
See, I would love to.
Oh, here it is. This is the scene.
So like that, great. No, no.
Here we
He's
go.
gonna cut her in half. How did this movie get released?
That's one of our
She
movies.
should be like fucking freaking out.
You'd be
She's
scared
like,
to death.
She's scared, but she's not scared. Like you would be like, you'd be.
You think she's gonna?
I would freaking look. She's
have
like, oh, I got a
PTSD?
wood thing. I'm gonna go fight.
So,
That's the worst scene I've ever seen in a movie.
yeah. How
Ugh.
does that compare to the scene you were thinking of?
I don't know. That's kind of what I thought was gonna happen, but not like that.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What, did you think he was gonna hack me up into little pieces or something?
Sadie, do you forgive me for making you watch Terrifier?
Totally traumatized.
Do you think that cannabis made the situation more or less enjoyable?
Definitely more enjoyable. Medicinal.
Your very own copy of Terrifier, so you can revisit Art the Clown whenever you want, in the middle of the night. I'm also giving you some more of our recent films from Dread Presents. Here's Arctic.
Oh, this sounds good.
It is. It's excellent, about a sinister cartoon artist. We've got Hoax. It's a Bigfoot movie, or is it? I don't know. You gotta watch.
Oh, this looks good.
It's fantastic. I'm also giving you Book of Monsters, an amazing film with all practical effects. I'm gonna say 2 words: killer gnomes. It's all you.
Yes.
Sadie, thank you so much for coming. Hey, I heard a rumor that you can cry on cue.
I can. I'm so high.
Can we roll the credits with you, you know, weeping it
Maybe.
up for me?
Okay.
Oh my God, she's doing it. Okay, good enough. You can stop. You can stop. Oh, I feel terrible. Sadie. Now I'm gonna start. Oh, Jesus. Oh, chronic horror. Come back. Hopefully my next guest won't be left screaming like this. Forgive us. Thank you. Chronic horror, keep blazing in your brainstem. Peace. Oh my God, Sadie.
Well, that just happened. See you next time on Chronic Horror. Bye. Greetings, kitties. Chronic Horror in the house again. Today's guest, Harry Soulman. Here's your host, Josh Milliken, my Lord and Savior.
Mr. Munchies, we'll talk later. Welcome to Chronic Horror, the intersection of horror movie fandom and cannabis culture. Today's guest is a very sexy, very hairy, very soulful man. We'll be enjoying some treats from my favorite homicidal homemaker, Casey Hansen, and we'll be watching a classic horror movie that features another exceptionally sexy and hairy man. It's Chronic Horror! Let's blaze!
Experience the chronic.
Most definitely our most unique guest to date. Help me in welcoming Harry Soulman.
Well, hello.
Hello. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance.
Absolutely. It's fantastic to be here.
Well, we're really thrilled to have you. I'm gonna ask you a few questions. We're gonna get high. We're gonna have some munchies. And we're gonna watch a classic horror movie, The Fly from 1986, directed by David Cronenberg and starring Jeff Goldblum, who is also a hairy, soulful man.
One of my heroes.
Really?
Sweet Goldblum. Absolutely.
My goodness.
That guy does no wrong.
I was first introduced to you at the Arkansas Craft Beer and Horror Movie Festival. One of your videos played. Now, I hesitate to call it a video. You are a musician. You are singing. It is your song.
Yeah.
But the things that you produce are on the level of cinema. And the first film of yours that I saw was How Deep Can I Go?
How deep can we go?
I just need to know how deep can I go?
I might have some fans wondering, what is this Harry Soulman doing on a show that's about horror?
Yeah.
It has horror in the title. You go to some dark places.
Absolutely.
In How Deep Can I Go?
Yeah. The reason why I wrote it was because, especially some love songs go really deep, and they they start talking about how I need you and I can't have anyone else, and it seems like the subtext means that they might keep them in a box or in a basement of some kind. You know what I mean? Like some love songs, you're like, okay, you're getting really heavy on the I need you to be here, and if you leave, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. So I started thinking, well, maybe how about I write a song that's a love song, but with the context of what I think these songs, how deep these songs go.
But you aren't afraid to address the real life horrors of humanity.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do you enjoy horror cinema?
I do. I must admit, I'm a slight scaredy cat when it comes to some horrors. Realistic horrors, I do have nightmares about. I have an imagination. My imagination is quite crazy. But classic horror, I love it.
Let's not waste any more time.
Absolutely, dude.
Let's get high.
Okay.
But I have a little friend who I turn to when I like to imbibe, and she gives me a hand. So allow me to introduce Miss Thang. Miss Thang, are you home? What's up, lovely? Always good to see you. Say hello to our very sexy guest, Mr. Harry Soulman.
Oh, a pleasure to meet you.
You're making me look bad, Home Slice.
Hey, gotta be nice.
I guess so. Now I know what makes you such a ladies' man. Now, I heard, Mr. Harry Soulman, that you've been feeling a little depressed.
I'm so depressed, I don't even know if I can go on.
So, what I would like to prescribe is a nice, bright sativa hybrid. Miss Thing, do we have any more of that OG Mota?
That's fantastic.
It's magically stocked. Yes, we do. From Mota, which stands for Medicine of the Angels. They grow their own, and this will be very nice. I'll let you hold that for me a second.
Thank you, sir.
Since you're such a do-it-yourself kind of guy, I thought we would do it ourselves and make our own pipes out of apples.
That sounds fantastic.
You only need a few things. Miss Thing, one bright red apple, please. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Some nice thick sewing needles. Do you have a pen for me, please, Miss Thing? Fantastic. Cheers. What you got there is nature's bowl. Then you take your needle or toothpick. If it is a needle, make sure it's a very thick sewing needle. And I like to make around 6 holes around the perimeter of the top, maybe a little smaller than the size of a quarter. You're gonna wanna connect all these holes down in the body of the apple, in the core. So you do this by inserting your needle or toothpick at an angle. Then you just take your pen. It has to be one that can be hollowed out. Ballpoint pens are perfect. Just pick your spot and you stab it through in a way that's going to connect it to the holes that you've drilled down. You can take the pen out. Sometimes it'll pull out a little extra material and you can just blow it out like that. And what you're gonna wanna do is put the big end right through to the middle, and that's it. You ready to light this up?
Absolutely.
Mr. Hairy Soulman.
Yes.
Some common side effects of consuming cannabis. Dude, bro bonding.
Yes,
I'm
of
feeling
course.
exceptionally close to you right
As
now.
am I.
Red eyes, another
Yes.
common effect. Another very common and pleasant side effect of cannabis is munchies.
Oh, yes.
And it's especially pleasant when you have a homicidal homemaker cooking up some delectables for our consumption.
Hi Josh, I am whipping up an ooey gooey and chewy treat just for you and your guest. I'm making my strawberry raw meat treats. These are so quick to put together and they're the perfect munchie treat. These only take a few ingredients and a few minutes to put together and they're perfect for enjoying while you watch The Fly. And you don't need to throw up any enzymes to digest them. For this recipe, you need 2 cups of miniature marshmallows, 1/4 cup of salted butter, 3 ounces of strawberry gelatin powder, and 3.5 to 4 cups of crispy rice cereal. Once the marshmallows and butter are completely melted and smooth, add in the strawberry gelatin powder. Mix until the gelatin powder is completely dissolved. After the gelatin has completely dissolved, add in 3.5 to 4 cups of rice cereal. Now these marshmallows are sticky, so you're gonna get a little bit of an arm workout. And you just wanna mix until the marshmallow mixture has completely coated all of the cereal pieces. Okay, my arm's already hurting. Now to serve this, you can either shape it into meat patties or body parts, but I like to just plop it onto a styrofoam tray, and it really freaks people out because they think it's actually raw meat.
All right, we've definitely got a major case of the munchies. Casey, come on down. What you got?
Hi.
Hey, Casey.
How are you guys?
Good. Welcome back. It's a pleasure, as always, to have
Thank
you.
you.
This is my esteemed colleague, Mr. Hairy Soulman.
Very nice to meet you.
A pleasure. Fantastic.
She's prepared some delectables for us. I don't even know what it is, so.
Well, how hungry are you? Because I know you wanted me to cook something up, but I may have forgot to actually cook it.
Yeah, that looks a little raw, a little fleshy and bloody.
That's okay, because it's actually Rice Krispie treats that look like raw meat. Are you ready to dig in? It's gonna get a little sticky, but we're already enjoying your fruit, so I think you guys probably have some sticky hands already.
I think we're ready to have some meat with our fruit, and since we'll be watching The Fly, and flies love raw meat, I think we should get our fly on.
Sounds fantastic.
And dig in. To you, to your health.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
It's addictive.
That was very nice.
We're about to dive into David Cronenberg's classic horror remake, The Fly, starring Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. Are you ready?
I'm absolutely ready.
All right, let's bug out.
Sorry, I have 3 other interviews to do before this party's over.
Yeah, but they're not working on something that'll change the world as we know it.
They say they are.
Look at that fucking mullet. Beautiful.
Oh,
Oh, that's not great.
Mr. Cronenberg.
It certainly wasn't what he wanted out of the experiment, I don't think.
You can actually go to YouTube and find a deleted scene from The Fly.
Oh, wow.
And in this scene, Jeff Goldblum fuses a monkey and a cat. What comes out is nothing short of a monstrosity. But back to The Fly, which is a very disturbing movie.
Yeah.
Oh, eats like a fly. Now that's love right there.
That is love. When you look at that face and then hug it, that's love.
Not what you want to see.
That is
not what you want to see.
No, it's, I mean,
hey, at least there's no umbilical cord, right?
Yeah.
So here we go. Here's where he's about to puke on Mr. Bad Guy. He's there. Oh, vomit as a weapon. Oh, there goes your jaw. This is the final reveal.
Oh.
It's like what was left of his face is gone. And look, it's like, he's like, just do it, Gina. Just do it. Oh. Oh. What a great film to revisit. I'm really happy you were here to
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mr. Harry Soulman, I can't thank you enough for coming out and being my guest tonight. I'd like to give you a few parting gifts.
Oh my.
These are some recent films from Dread. First, a film about extreme haunted houses.
Oh my.
And next we have The Golem, a period horror piece steeped in Jewish mysticism.
Oh my.
Enjoy those.
Well, I have a gift for you, sir.
Oh,
I have just finished my new album. And I must say, it's sexy.
Well, I certainly hope everyone checks out How Deep Can You Go and the entire Harry Soulman album. Is there any way you would grace us with a song before you go?
If you insist. Oh.
Fantastic.
Here we go. Go easy on me. I don't usually play my music while stoned.
Hey.
Okay, sorry, I'll start again, because I did the exact thing just then. I started in the wrong spot.
Crazy.
There we go.
Well, that's gonna do it for another episode of Chronic Horror. I want to thank Casey Hansen, the homicidal homemaker, and our very special guest, Harry Soulman. Take it away.
Baby, I love you so. I just need you to know. You're so sexy when you walk down my street. I can see you, but you can't see me. I crave your body, every single piece, every single bit, individually wrapped in plastic bags in my fridge. Oh, baby, you know I desire, like when I watch my parents burn in a blazing fire.
Issues.
Oh, to me, you're like a piece of art. I'll make you my Venus de Milo by cutting off your limbs and covering you in plaster. Baby, I just need to know how deep can I go? I saw that in a movie once. That's where I got the idea.
Media influence.
Baby, why aren't you talking no more? You look so lifeless on the cage floor. She's dead. I bet I never really know how.
Wow, is that guy the bong or what? I'm really trying. Sorry. I'm not just gonna let this one play out. He's so goddamn handsome.
Sometimes when you eat edibles, it feels like time is non-existent. I want to apologize to Richard's family. I'm so high. Richard? Richard?
Josh, I heard something over here, man.
Oh,
I heard something over here. There's for sure weed in here, man. I can smell it. It's lighting up my soul.
Oh my God. Wait, where are you going, dude? Richard. Jesus, this is breaking into... Richard! Richard! What? Richard! Trejo! What the fuck are you doing?
Chronic horror!
Experience the chronic.
All right, here we are, my chronic connoisseurs. Richard Trejo and I busted out of the scare lair once again for another chronic field trip. This time, we're going out into nature. We'll be investigating the haunted forests of Cobb Estate.
This is gonna be spooky.
So, you know, as always, we need to imbibe before we begin our experience because that adds to the experience. And I thought long and hard about what's the best way to imbibe in a nature situation. Yeah. So even though Miss Thang couldn't be here with us today, she suggested that we experiment with edibles. She gave us a punch bar.
Punch combo. Punch combo.
Yeah, so this is 10 milligrams, and you and I are both big boys.
I mean, I've always been referred to as Husky, and I always shopped at the Husky section when I was a kid.
I was actually referring more to the fact that we can handle our cannabis.
Oh yeah, that too.
This is almost like a warning, almost like a PSA to some of you younger legal-aged cannabis smokers. Eating an edible is a much different experience than smoking. While there are certainly some strong strains, edibles can have sometimes extreme effects on people. This is going to take about an hour to arrive in our brain stems, and it's going to hit us potentially like a wave. So this is actually dark chocolate, peanut butter, and jelly flavored. We got this where we get most of our products. Medicine of the Angels. Love those guys.
Medicine of the Angels.
Cheers. Let's eat. Halvesies.
Woo! Cheers.
Cheers. While we're waiting for the edible to kick in, we're gonna smoke out a little bit, and this is the perfect opportunity for us to teach our fans the best way to hotbox a car.
Hold on, rolling up windows.
You never hotbox your car while you're driving.
What's important is that, as Josh mentioned, you know, like in doing a hotbox, a proper sesh means that you have to make sure that you have, of course, your windows up. That's step one.
Well, that really is step one. Step two is to turn off your AC.
Yes.
Make sure you're all closed up. You know, in fact, it's best to just make sure your car's not running at all. Check it out.
Oh yeah. You know what we should do?
We do that.
Chronic horror smoking.
Horror.
Here we go, we're having fun now. We're gonna be in nature. It's gonna be rad.
All right, Jose Prendes.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, you are a filmmaker and a paranormal investigator.
That's correct, and I've brought you guys to the famous haunted forest at the Cobb Estate.
Yes.
Well, thanks for hosting this, and we're excited to do this chronic field trip.
I'm excited to bring you guys on it because I've never brought anybody who is as high as you guys into this active of an environment.
Well, and the best part is, since we ate edibles, we're only going to get higher, so who knows what's going to happen when we go through those gates.
All right, guys, a couple of safety tips. The paving is uneven. Make sure you have your eyes on the ground for the most part. Also, there's a lot of animals. There's scorpions, snakes, bears. We do see a lot of deer up here.
So you said bear. Now, I was told that there were ghosts
Yes.
on this tour, but now we're talking about bears. That's way scary.
Yeah, ghosts are what this trail is most famous for.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Jose, you know, I know that you didn't imbibe with us and your knowledge of cannabis might be limited, but
Correct.
as someone with vast knowledge of the paranormal, do you think the fact that Richard and I took an edible and hotboxed a car...
I know where you're
will
going
make
with
it-
this.
Yeah, will
Does it make you more receptive to the paranormals?
You know, there's a lot of cultures that, you know, will take peyote and stuff to reach a higher level.
Wait a minute, it's just now dawning on me that this is basically the beginning of every horror movie ever made.
We're gonna start right here. Let's stop here at this water fountain. So 3 months ago, hikers, they come here all the time. Hiker had come down this trail and went down there. Now he saw a tent. He pokes at the tent and, hello, is anybody in there? Nothing. He opens it, and inside there is a decayed woman.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm not saying, I don't say freshly dead, I mean decayed.
So she's been around.
Which means she'd been there for a while, but the weird thing is he's been down there before, and they'd never seen that. Completely a mystery. Nobody knows what happened there. That happened 3 months ago, right here.
Well, people talk about the Mandela effect
Yeah.
and how multi-dimensional realities may somehow overlap. So maybe she died in a parallel universe, and the paranormal energy of this area made for such a thin portal that she just came right into our dimension.
Yeah, dude.
I'm a scientist when it comes to the paranormal, you know?
That was pretty philosophical.
We have to be.
It's quantum physics.
Let's see if we can make contact with the lady. Okay, Spirit Box, this little device, what it does is it scans quickly through radio frequencies.
Yes.
If there's anybody with us here, if you're the lady who passed away here recently, we'd like to speak with you. Can you say hello at least? Can you just say hi?
There's voices. There's something
It's
going on.
definitely a woman.
All right, guys. So right now we're heading up to the Cobb Estate. We're gonna go up there. We're gonna show you what's left. There's not much left to the property actually, but here are the famed Cobb Estate steps.
Oh my gosh.
Oh hey, check this out.
What does it say?
Hella.
Hella, and then right there it says evil.
Oh,
Demon
does it
too.
really? Oh, hello. Hi.
Hi. Hi, Mrs. Cobb. We don't mean any harm. We're sorry for disturbing you. We just want to say hello. Is that okay? So I probably shouldn't mention that there used to also be satanic rituals performed here.
Wow.
Great. I could hear like
Wow.
right in my ears.
We're gonna go now, okay? So we're gonna split up.
Oh yeah, because that's always a great idea for a horror movie.
I want to go.
I'm gonna give you some weapons to use against the dark. The way this works is you're using your body like a tuning fork, and the spirit will use this energy to direct the rods. So you want to hold them as close to your body as possible so that there's no chance that you're moving it with your hands. Excuse us, Mr. Cobb, we're coming in.
Oh shit. All right. Okay.
This is you.
This is me.
You stay here. You're in the middle of Cobb Estate right now.
All right.
And you can feel free to wander. Just be careful where you step.
Okay.
And yeah, talk to the Cobbs. Possibly reach out to the nun, see if she wants to chat with you about sativa or whatever. All right. Good luck.
What are you doing? I'm standing in what was your house within the perimeter of Cobb Estate.
I don't know how these work. What
All
do
right,
I
pal.
do?
Don't worry, I won't leave you alone here.
Yeah.
Well, I will, but not right now.
Okay.
So you got 1 rod, 2 rods. Let's keep them neutral, sort of in the center.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's impossible not to think about how this is a lot like the Blair Witch Project. What? I just heard yeah.
Once we get it, the communication started, it'll be a little more fluid. Okay.
Okay. So okay, if you are a male, can you show me here in the rods?
Okay.
No males.
Well, looks like you got a lady with you, so I'm gonna leave you to it. Good luck.
Oh, wait, Jose?
See you, man.
Hey, Jose.
It's a show called Chronic Horror. Well, you know, it's about horror movies and cannabis culture.
Okay, I'm gonna go over here. Maybe there's more action here in this bush. Oh, okay. All right.
My spine is sufficiently tingled. I think I'm gonna try to find Trejo. Richard, Jose.
I feel like they keep leading me towards this way. Oh shit, they're trying to kill me. Josh, lead me back, Josh. Magical rods, Josh. Josh, 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 Josh. I found you. The rods helped me find you. Oh, Josh.
Hey guys, how'd it go?
Okay, so you know, in the beginning there wasn't much action.
Okay.
But as soon as I felt like they were directing me towards a certain area.
Okay.
And as soon as I started walking towards that area, it was just on a, you know, there was a ledge there. So they probably wanted me to hurt myself.
Most likely, yeah.
Sprain my ankle.
Hello to the presence who might be out there. If you want to talk to me, show me how you would communicate yes. They just went back into the neutral position.
Perfect. When that happens on its own, you know that shit's it's on and popping, my friends.
You're a conduit.
Yes. Now you're haunted forever, unfortunately.
Now just put one over that way, so hopefully that says no. I'm not a conduit.
They're crossing,
Thank you
dude.
for me not being a conduit. Are you upset at us at Chronic Horror for coming out to visit?
What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? No. That, would you like us to leave right now?
Staying in the yes position.
It's getting foggy. I think we'll call it a night. We'll get home safe and maybe alone.
Thank you, but let's get the fuck
Let's
out
go.
of here.
Let's go.
All right, come on.
Thank you. Now it's all downhill from here.
Well, Jose, we're back where it all began.
Yes. And before we call it a night, I'm going to give you guys a cleansing. This is called Palo Santo, and it's just sort of known as a nice,
Oh, it does smell
sort of
good.
cleansing
smells delicious.
scent. So we're just going to waft a little bit of the smell over you guys.
Richard and I have our own ritual for ending these chronic field trips, and it's to give you a double hug. So.
Double hug.
Okay, yeah, bring it in. I love it. Oh, good times, good times.
Love you guys.
Oh, this is great.
What? Guys? Guys? Come on!
Greetings, my chronic